Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. In today's video, we are going to be budgeting for November of 2023, so if that is of interest to you, then please keep watching. But before we talk about our November monthly budget, I want to introduce you to Mint Mobile. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for as little as $15 a month, and you don't have to sacrifice speed or data or even coverage. They're built on the world's largest 5G network, and all Mint Mobile plans include unlimited talk, unlimited text, lightning fast 5G, and a free mobile hotspot. Mint Mobile offers a modern family plan, which of course my husband and I take advantage of, that lets you set up a super affordable family plan with as little as 2 lines. Switching to Mint Mobile is super easy. Thanks to their digital eSIM cards, you can sign up and activate immediately right from your phone from the comfort of your home. If your phone isn't eSIM compatible, Mint Mobile will send you a free physical SIM card, and it only takes about 15 minutes to switch. People always ask if I recommend Mint Mobile, and the obvious answer is that I've been using and paying for it for 2 years, so of course I do recommend it, but more so than just me recommending it, Mint Mobile offers a free 7-day trial where they will allow you to try out the service for 7 days. So in addition to my recommendation, you can actually just try out the service for free. I recommend doing this so you can test out the service and the coverage and all of that fun stuff to make sure that it is in alignment with what you need before you make the switch. Because the fact of the matter is, we live and work and thrive in an urban area, so our service is perfectly fine for us. Don't forget that now through the end of October, so October the 31st, you can get their unlimited plan for just $15 a month, which is typically only $30 per month. You can click the link in my description box to learn more about Mint Mobile and to get started, or you can scan the QR code here on the screen. And if you've already made the switch like me, let me know down below in the comments. Thank you to Mint Mobile for partnering with me on today's video. Now back to my regular content. Okay, so if you've been around, then you know 2 things. One is that I created a holiday budget, which I shared on the tube. And 2 is that I actually did this quarterly planning session for our personal lives as well as for the financial side of things. Also did a video on both of those. So 3 videos just went out recently talking all about organizing and planning and all of that fun stuff. And so if you've been around, you know that those videos exist. And so you probably already know that I had the preliminary work for our November budget already completed earlier this month. And so at this point, all that was left for me to do was to tweak a few little things. And so we're going to go over our actual monthly budget with our actual income, and we're going to talk about our actual expenses, and we're going to talk about the tasks and the goals that we are looking to complete in the month of November. So for the tasks and the goals and all the things, let's talk about those first. So we want to follow up with our financial advisor. Why? Because this has been on our list of things to do all year and we've yet to do it. But more importantly, at the end of the year or around Q4, we actually meet with our financial advisor to talk about our plan and goals and all the things for the upcoming year. So, you know, even though we've been putting this off pretty much all year, we do need to go talk to homeboy by the end of the year, so in November or in December. I also need to pay for my clinical exam, i.e. I need to study for it. Well, I have to pay for it to register for it, to even pick a date to take it, but I also need to study for it, so we'll see what happens with that. I also would like to, we would like to save $1,000, which you'll see why we are aiming for that based upon our actual monthly budget. We want to invest 15% of our paychecks, which is a goal every month. And I keep it on here because I want to be reminded that one day we want to increase that. We want to pay off our monthly credit card bill, which is a goal every single month. Register our truck, schedule the chiropractor, which is something that I have on here because I low-key want to go meet with a chiropractor, but I low-key don't really, like, nothing. It's not like I have a back injury and I need to go, but I feel like going to get adjusted might be helpful. So one of these days. Also, I need to schedule with my OBGYN for my checkup, and we want to potentially add our truck to our auto insurance. We want to save $275 for our sinking funds, sign up for BarkBox potentially for my doggy. I need to turn in my mileage at work. That's financial in nature, so that's why it's on here. I also have created a candle day budget for Bath & Body Works. Their Candle Day sale takes place typically the first Saturday in December. They don't advertise it as such, but anybody who shops it knows that's when it takes place. So that is going to be taking place. And at that point, candles go from $24.95 a pop to less than $10 a pop if you use coupon, if you play your cards right. So I would like to go buy like, you know, 10 candles or so. I feel like that would be appropriate. So my budget is $100 for Candle Day. Also, I created a Black Friday budget as part of our holiday budget, which is $200. We currently don't have any real plans for Black Friday or anything, you know, really to purchase, but in trying to think ahead and get ahead of, you know, Christmas or whatever, we do have a little Black Friday budget each year. So this year is going to be $200. Although I will say, we had a robot vacuum before we rescued our dog, and then the vacuum wasn't like the highest, best quality, so she struggled a little bit before anyway, but then the dog pretty much like attacked it and ate it, and I think it just died naturally because it was a couple years old, I guess. So a robot vacuum would be great, particularly for downstairs, which if you have one, I mean, if you have 2 levels, it's not like it can go up and downstairs, but I would love to just run one down here once a day, twice a day, whatever. That would be ideal. So we will have to see if we can find one. They're a decent amount, but that's kind of what we may be buying with that money. And then also, I have decided that I'm going to host a banquet for the girls' flag football team. And by banquet, I don't really know what I mean by that actually, but what I do know is that my husband has built this flag football team from the ground up. We've spent a lot of money, time, energy, all the things, way more money, time, and energy than what one might imagine. And the season's only like a month because they play 2 games twice per week. So they play 4 games per week. So the season's only like a month long. And so I've decided that I think maybe in lieu of Friendsgiving, I am going to just host the girls a banquet. Now I can call in support from my cousin, my aunt, my mother-in-law, my mother-in-law's bestie. They all help and support and rally around us for different causes and whatnot. So they already said they would like to help. So I don't really know what portion of the $250 will belong to me if they are chipping in for this. But I guess what I'm thinking is when the season is over, that next week, yeah, before Thanksgiving, because once we get past Thanksgiving, count me out. Your girls, yeah, I'm not doing any of this type of stuff. So my hope is that we can present them with certificates, which is cheap, obviously. I can make those at home. We can present them with maybe some little gift of some sort, some kind of gift bag or something, gift card, something, and food, of course, and games, prizes. So $250 is probably a stretch, but again, I don't know what portion of this is like if I have to do the whole thing. This is about what my budget would be, but I'm not anticipating that happening because folks like to help us out. Next up, I have an eye appointment in November, and so I typically have some type of copay, so I am anticipating that. And then also in November, well, 2 things. First of all, my husband sent me something from our cousins in Florida. Apparently we've been invited to a party there the day or 2 days after Thanksgiving. We're not really planning to go anywhere for Thanksgiving, so I don't know if we're going to that. As of right now, we are not, but that is something to kind of be mindful of. My dog's eating and drinking, if you're wondering, because that's her thing when I'm filming videos. It's kind of like, oh, let me go drink and eat and make all the noise in the world. She doesn't bark. I mean, unless she sees something or whatever, but like she's just chilling until it's time for me to film a video, and then she eats and drinks. I don't know, it's a thing. It's a strange thing. So anywho, that's my banquet budget situation idea. And also we might be going to Florida. I don't know, my husband, like I'm gonna go if he wants to go. I'm not gonna sign up for that if he doesn't want to go, because that's a whole trip. We got a dog boarding. I mean, it's a whole thing. So if he wants to go visit our family in Florida, then we're gonna go, but otherwise it's not on the top of my to-do list, so that could be a thing. And so there's that. And then we also have an anniversary in November. In 2 weeks, actually, at the beginning of November, we will be celebrating a wedding anniversary and technically a dating anniversary, and technically we got married on the day that we met 11 years ago. So it's like this whole thing for November. And normally we just go out to eat or do something. I feel like we've taken a trip or two before. It's not like we've been married for decades or anything. So I feel like we've taken a couple trips, and then otherwise we are at home doing something. So we already made dinner reservations and we're going to this fancier restaurant, and a $200 budget is asking a lot for this, but that's what we're going to budget, and we're not exchanging gifts. Don't you worry. We're not the gift people. That $200 is gonna go to this experience. So I think we're gonna do the dinner whole situation and then a wine tasting at the facility, at the place, and it's gonna be a whole thing. So we're budgeting $200 for that. And I had skipped that. And then back to my cousin's game. My cousin just transferred and is playing basketball at a school in Tennessee. I looked at his schedule, the team schedule, and the only time that he's coming even remotely near us is on November the 22nd. He is going to play about an hour and a half from us. I think his school is like 4.5 hours. Maybe it's in like the Nashville area perhaps or something, but he's coming within 2 hours of us, actually an hour and a half of us. So we're going to go to that game, and then, so that's the thing, but we don't have to pay for tickets because we're family, but we'll have to pay for gas, and we might eat perhaps while we're there or something. So that's a thing. But I think we're going to like some little small town, so we're not going to somewhere super cool. So we'll just pop in and pop out. And then also our Sirius XM radio will be due in November, which we already saved up for it. So that's the one expense that we have already saved up for. Let's talk about our actual November budget. So we are going to budget based off of $6,500. That is the amount that we budget based for each and every month. And that is the minimum amount of money that we're going to bring in. Now, where it gets a little trickier, convoluted for us is that we do things that earn us more money, like my husband coaching, and he's coaching 2 sports and this and that and the third, and then I create social media content and all the things. And my husband does too, and he gets a little paycheck every now and again, but we all know he's not as active as I am on social media. But from brand deals and things of the sort, I can get a pretty decent amount of money, a relatively big paycheck if you ask me. It just kind of depends on the month. Some months I don't get any brand deals, some months I do. Today I have one, but so it kind of just depends on that. But I am anticipating, based on all of the contracts and such that I have signed for Q4, I am anticipating us technically earning more than $6,500, but based off of the $6,500, this is how we are planning to spend the money. We are going to pay for our gym membership, which is $59. We are going to pay for our phone bill. Now, the catch is we have my Mint Mobile cell phone bill paid up until next year because I pay it annually. I don't know why, I just do. And then my husband's gets paid every 3 months. And so I was thinking about something real quick, but anyway, so his bill is going to be due in November, and it's technically 120. So 120 divided by 3 is what the bill actually is per month. But there are some fees and taxes which normally take it to about $130.86 or $130.87. So I am budgeting $131 to be safe to pay his bill, and then we won't pay it again until December, January, February of next year. For our car payment, it is going to come in at $314.34, and then we have electricity. I just got the bill for that, which is why I'm here filming this video. That is $163.74, so it's half of what it was previously. So we're getting down back into the, once it gets cool here in Georgia, you know, we can get down to like a $90 bill, $80 bill, that type of thing. So I'm hopeful that for the next few months, at least the next like 4, up until like March, we should be pretty good with our electricity bill. So we'll see how that goes. But next up, we have our cable, which is through Sling TV, which is $40 even. We have pest control, which is $50.60, and that is for them to come kill all of our pests or control them. Next up, we have internet, which is through AT&T actually, which is $80.30. Mortgage, $1,611.23, which I'm anticipating going up, by the way, because our homeowner's insurance is going up, which is wrapped into the mortgage, and property taxes have continued to go up, which is also wrapped into our mortgage. So we'll see how that goes. But as of right now, 161123. Water/sewer, I originally had $100 budgeted, which is kind of like the max in the cooler months, or really the max most of the months. except the summer. Then sometimes we run the sprinklers and fill up the pool and that type of thing. But typically the bare minimum for our water bill now is $86.11. So that's what I'm budgeting, although I won't get the bill for that until when we're going to be well into November when I get that bill. Next up, we have my student loan. You guys, my student loans are due. My husband has student loans, although our lowest debt is now our car, because our car is now less than my husband's student loans, which we were anticipating paying them off before the forbearance ended. But then my husband had to go to grad school. I mean, if he wanted to keep his job, he had to go to grad school or take this program. But the program costs money and doesn't come with a raise. And to get a graduate degree costs money, but also comes with a decent raise. So he opted to go that route. So he's in grad school, and we kind of forgot all about it, kind of, whenever the loans came back due this month in October. And I'm like, oh yeah, your bill, you don't have to pay your student loans again until you complete your program. So his loans actually aren't due for 2 years. So in 2025, assuming that's when he finishes grad school. So he does have a student loan payment, but my guess is obviously those will be paid off by then. Hopefully that's the goal. So I don't know. We need to kind of figure out what we'll talk to our financial advisor and kind of figure out what our plan is moving forward. It's giving the car is going to be paid off before the student loans, just naturally. But anyway, moving on. My husband doesn't have a student loan payment, but I do. And my bill is $473.97, which is insane. I don't think I've ever paid more than like $240, which I knew coming out of COVID, stuff was not going to be like it was. So I was anticipating that I would just have a much higher bill. That's just what I assumed would be. Not that we could have like really done anything about that. I mean, what I got to pay is what I got to pay. And so I think I could try to get it lower, but it's really not that deep. So $473.97 is what we're paying for my student loans, which is kind of tragic because when I look at it, I'm like, wow, that's $500. But what can you do? You gotta pay them, or it's gonna be an issue. So that is what my student loans are. Amazon Music, $16.99 in November. Security for our home, $52.14. Life insurance, $42.19 for both of us. We both have separate bills, but they're due on the same day, so I just wrap it all into one because we have to pay them both on the same day at the same time, and they come out. They're auto deducted at the same time. Pets, wellness plan, pet insurance type of stuff for my husband, for my dog, $61.05. Netflix, $9.99. Shopping is going to be $17.50, and the candle day budget is going to come from there. Black Friday budget, banquet budget, anniversary budget. On top of that, my copay and any other expenses that we have that are not related to putting money towards debt or saving or investing or putting money towards a bill. So that leaves food for us, food for our dogs, gas for our cars, all of those types of things, date nights, friend dates, you name it. Anything that we spend money on that isn't captured in any of the other categories will come from the shopping budget. Next up, we have investing. We invest $80 via Stash every month. And so we do $20 per week. So we're doing $80 for investing, and then we're gonna do $275 for sinking funds. So we're gonna put money towards our car insurance, which we pay every 6 months, which is why you haven't seen it on here. It's due in December. And then we save each month for SiriusXM, our Walmart Plus subscription. We save each month for our HOA fees and our termite control, not to be confused with pest control, because termite control is due annually. So basically our semi-annual bills and our annual bills we save for by way of sinking funds. And then that leaves savings at $1,202.35, which is basically everything left within our budget after accounting for shopping, investing, and sinking funds, which make up the expenses that are more flexible. The rest of them, it kind of is what it is. Like I said, I can tussle with my student loan servicer to try to get a lesser payment, but they're telling me I need to pay $473.97. If I have an issue with that, I can try to get it lower. The gym, they tell me my bill is $59 each month. The mortgage company, they want $1,611.23 each month. So I can't really tussle with those bills. I can cut out Netflix. We can cut out Amazon Music and cut out cable and stuff. But for the most part, our budget mainly consists of those bills that we can't really get out of. You know, I gotta have a phone bill, I gotta have electricity, we gotta have water, that type of thing. So that is our budget. If you add up all of that, you get $6,500, which means that we have an every dollar budget or a zero-based budget, which means that we are now ready to move into the month of November with a pretty solid plan for how we're intending to spend our money. One thing that I like to kind of take into consideration is, like I said, some of the happenings for November, but for the most part, we have our anniversary, we have the flag football banquet, which is what I'm calling it. My husband has a hair appointment, but he already paid a deposit, and then he only pays like $40 following that each time that he goes, based on the style that he gets. Is pretty inexpensive. We have Thanksgiving, and then, I mean, that's kind of it. That's pretty much like all that is really planned for November. I'm going on a friend date, but you know, that's kind of like just dinner or whatever. You know, nothing super out of the ordinary or super crazy unless we go to Orlando with our cousins. But even if we do that, we'll stay with them. Obviously, we drive there, we stay with them, and then there is a party going on. That's what we were invited to, so we would have to take stuff for our party. It's a color party, you know, when you pick a color and then you bring stuff based on that color. Like if you pick purple, you would bring stuff that's packaged in purple or that you've made and that is purple, like grapes or, you know, plums, or something that you've dyed purple, or, because that's what I'm into. I'm into dyeing things if you can in a safe way. But anyway, that is pretty much the only thing that's kind of left out there that I'm not really too sure about. Honestly speaking, we would spend more boarding our dog, depending on how long we stay, than we would actually traveling there and staying there and probably participating in the party, because boarding our dog costs a lot of money. So that's kind of why we don't really go anywhere, because boarding our dog costs a lot. And that's why we don't have multiple dogs. Otherwise I would have multiple dogs, but it would be kind of expensive. You know, our monthly expenses would definitely shoot up, and I'm not really here for it. So that's gonna be our budget for the month of November. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like, subscribe if you're new and if you're liking what you're seeing, and I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. Bye guys.